you know what? Let's just start it with me diving into your Mr. Van Halen.
Mr. Van Halen.
I'm going to say that because that ripped the internet apart when we were just saying Mr. to the band.
Yeah,
Like it
we
was
did
a
the
party of one.
Mr. Led Zeppelin or something
Yes.
you said, and everybody freaked out.
So I'm just going to play off that again. So Mr.
Yeah.
Van Halen. You know, this is when I sent Chris a message. I said, this show is going to be interesting because I've never been a huge fan, similar to how you've never been a huge Zac Brown fan. And his like big hits, of course I know them, Jump and all of that type of stuff. And while I like, they're fun, I've just never been like that fan. And so when I deep dove into research for this episode, I couldn't help but go to all of the songs on like YouTube and read the comments. And the comments are just, these people love Mr. Van Halen.
Mr. Van Halen. Van Halen, the band.
Yes, they love. And so I feel like anything I'm going to say today is just going to like hurt their feelings. And I'm so sorry in advance.
You're just going to get shredded.
I'm going to get shredded, but it's okay. So I'm going to be polite. So with all of that intro, I'm going to start with your first pick to me.
I love the disclaimer before all this, by the way.
Is Top Jimmy.
Top Jimmy.
Top Jimmy, which when I dove into the history of this song, it was a lot of like, this is the song that it's about this person. And, it just was, I felt like I needed to know of the things that they were referencing to really understand the story behind this song. But it was very interesting. And I will say my favorite part of the song is when it ended, but not because it ended, but because I liked how it said, like the way it says, "Oh, Jimmy" at the end.
Yeah.
It's a fun little sassy.
Jimmy.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I was happy the song ended. It was just, I liked the ending the best of all of the rest of the song.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, this song is, I picked this song because 1984 was Van Halen's huge. I mean, this was a mammoth record when it came out. Like their humongous like hit. Like this was the record that Van Halen had been planning to do that just really made them into a juggernaut like band. And they were already big, but this just made them bigger. This
what
is
was
like
the name
their
of that
best
record?
song.
I can't remember.
It's 1984 is the record.
Oh, it's just it's named 1984.
Yeah, it's just 1984.
Oh, I thought it was called something else. It
which came out 40 years ago this year, by the way. Yeah, so this song though was always one of my favorites on 1984 because 1984 was like a record that Van Halen fans loved, but also kind of divided them a lot because it was the first time where like synthesizers became a real predominant use in the band's music, which, Van Halen, always known to be a huge guitar band. I mean, Eddie Van Halen. But the fact that the record opens with synthesizers and then Jump, which is a mammoth hit, is synthesizers, very synthesizer driven. And there's a few other synth songs on here. But Top Jimmy is the end. Basically, I had this when I bought it. It was on record, and so I bought the vinyl. And so this was always the end of side A. And I thought that this was just such a great song because this sounded most like quote unquote older Van Halen. Like,
okay.
There was no real synths in this. It's just Eddie's like guitar wizardry going nuts, and the song is fun. It's got that real playful riff, and it just reminds me a lot of like older Van Halen and that sense.
Sure.
And the song, the story behind the song is hilarious. It
is.
David Lee Roth basically talked to a magazine, and he said James Koenig, who earned his name working at the top taco stand outside of A&M Records in Hollywood, was a regular performer with the band Top Jimmy and the Rhythm Pigs. David Lee Roth even joined Koenig on stage, singing a string of bluesy covers in turn of the 80s. They met Koenig when he was bartending at an after-hours Hollywood punk dive and occasionally art gallery called the 00 Club. A hit place that, despite its ratty look, soon became crawling with famous folks. Roth rolled up at 00 one night very early and just loved it. 00 partner John Pucka says in an interview with writer Greg Reganoff, he showed up for the first time at a limo, had two chicks with him, and Eddie Anderson, his personal security guy. The chicks thought they were going to some fancy place, but they completely freaked out when they saw the place of this totally raw, effed up, downscale crowd. Roth eventually became an anonymous financial backer for the bar, which Pancho ran with someone else, can't even pronounce his name, before making his way out of the general revelry. Roth would typically start out by partying in 00's tucked away VIP space. And it goes on and on. I'm going to post the link to this. But
it's very interesting.
Yeah. But basically, Roth would return to these years later, very late in the making of 1984. He added lyrics about his old pal Top Jimmy to an existing instrumental, then titled Ripley, after Steve Ripley, the designer unique stereo guitar Eddie uses on this tune.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And
it's a very long story, but Top Jimmy is a real person.
It was fun. It was really fun to deep dive into that.
All right, so let's listen to Top Jimmy.
Let's listen to a little, and then we'll just like sample the very end of it to hear what I'm referencing. I mean, it's like a little head boppy-ish.
I love it. It just starts off. Twang to it, right? He's the king. I want to get to the guitar solo here because it's a great solo. Here we go. Let's go. Eddie does the Pac-Man in this solo. Here it comes, the Pac-Man. Pac-Man died. There it is. Pac-Man dying. There you go.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Oh, Jimmy! Your favorite part?
It's cute. It's a cute ending. It's, I feel like you have sent me so much hard metal and stuff that to me, I'm like, it almost feels boring.
Oh, get out of here. Yeah, well, after listening to like, Falling in Reverse and Knock Loose and Spirit Box and Kill Switch Engage.
So I feel like I need to blame you that
I've actually gone too hard.
Who would have thought that it would have had some sort of negative side effect to Van Halen? But listen, I don't hate the song. I don't dislike the song. Like, I don't think I'd put it on.
So you wouldn't choose to listen to it?
No, I don't think so. But I'm not gonna be someone who would switch it off if it just happened to come on. And I think it does feel very dated, and part of that makes my heart smile a little bit. It kind of like transports me back to the 80s during a time that was fun. And I don't know. I just, everyone knows I love the 80s. So I feel like there's some connection a little bit to that, but not enough to make me go, oh, I need this record. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. So song number 1 isn't making me a fan, but it's not necessarily like turning me off from being a fan either.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not giving any song a terrible rating today, but I'm giving this like a 3.2, which is average. Okay, everyone?
Average.
Don't come at me. We're talking averages here.
So, all right.
Okay.
All right. So a 3.2 for Top Jimmy.
3.2 for Top Jimmy.
Okay. All right. But it's not a 2, it's not a 1, so
no, it's good. Not.
You wouldn't choose to put it on, but you wouldn't turn it off.
Absolutely.